As I'm sure has been the case for you, my heart grew heavy this past week as I witnessed the escalating tensions and acts of violence in the Middle East. The images being broadcast are beyond horrific, and they're broadly accessible to our children. These acts of terrorism are hard to comprehend, even from a distance. But the truth is that the impacts are not as far away as they might seem. Families here in Pleasanton have lost loved ones in the fighting, and others are struggling to locate those who were captured. This includes family members and friends of our staff and our students. During times like these, we must act to protect our children from the effects of this exposure to this darkness. As parents, we must pay attention to the media our children are consuming and talk with them about their feelings. It's also important to help them understand the power of our words and actions, as well as the impact those words and actions have on others. While we want to encourage age-appropriate discussion about the complexities of conflict, it's important that these engagements are respectful, empathetic, and focused on peaceful outcomes. We have received reports from community members regarding troubling interactions on campuses and within the broader community here in Pleasanton. It is imperative that we teach our young people that the use of hate speech or the demonization of any group only serves to perpetuate the cycles of prejudice, violence, and suffering. No one should have to hide who they are in order to feel safe from harassment, bullying, or threats of violence. This is true with regards to an individual's race, ethnicity, religious beliefs, or any aspect of their sexuality. I encourage staff, students, and parents to promote constructive conversations that leverage empathy, unity, and peaceful dialogue during what is an incredibly difficult time for various members of our community. Tonight, the board will consider a resolution to recognize this week as the Week of the Administrator. I was reminded of the strength and compassion required of our administrators on any given day, as it was demonstrated by Principal Heidi Deeringhoff and Vice Principal Casey Norton at Fairlands as they led the Fairlands community through a very difficult and potentially dangerous situation on Friday of last week. While there is no perfect way or playbook for how to respond to an emergency involving 800 individuals on campus, they executed their emergency plan effectively and with great care for the students and staff. Next, it will be time to reflect and to consider on how that plan can be strengthened. I want to thank the entire Fairlands community and the team at the school site for their efforts to keep our students safe, even as they themselves were frightened. We, along with each of our Fairlands families, are grateful for your protective kindness during this emergency. Similarly, Caroline Fields and the admin team at Hart Middle School managed a very serious event this afternoon. Together with their teachers and classified staff members, they responded to a telephone threat, engaged the Pleasanton Police Department, and ushered their large student body out to the safety of the field. This allowed the Pleasanton Police Department to sweep the campus and clear the building so that students and staff could safely return. The investigations of both events are ongoing, and we will communicate in a transparent manner as we have details, those findings, once we have them in hand. I appreciate your patience. Communication is not a simple task, and we try to do it with the utmost honesty based on the information that we have in our hands at the time. And anybody that's done communication, you'll notice I'm off script, so that's a scary thing. But if you've done communications, you know that often you give a message only to find out 2 minutes later that there's additional details that you didn't include. And so many times that doesn't indicate that someone was trying to be hide information from you. It just means that we're trying to communicate with the best information and the most accurate information that we have on hand at the time. So again, we've listened very carefully. I've taken tons of notes from all the comments that were made tonight. I appreciate the honest feedback, and we will be communicating back out with you regarding our attempts to address some of the issues that you have brought forward. I want to extend my gratitude, going back to the script now, I want to extend my gratitude to parents and staff who came forward to engage in constructive dialogue following the incidents. These conversations are critical learning opportunities for our team and will help to strengthen our sense, both our sense of safety and community. Please know that the district staff is committed to working collaboratively with each of our site teams to enhance the safety protocols for our staff and students at each PUSD school site. This has been a day, I got to tell you. Earlier today, we were notified by the Pleasanton Police Department that one of our crossing guards who services the Valley View area was struck by a vehicle and badly injured. Police and fire emergency crews responded, and the individual was transported to the hospital. Out of respect for their privacy, I don't have further information to share. However, I did want to ask our community to consider the safety of our students and crossing guards during their morning and afternoon commutes. Getting to school fast or to work fast is not worth the consequence. It only takes a moment of distraction to result in an accident that can have terrible, terrible consequences. Please drive with care as you pass our schools or as you see students walking or riding to school. We are very grateful for our crossing guards across the community and for the City of Pleasanton, who provides those crossing guards as a protective measure for students and parents as they walk the city streets on their ways to and from school. Finally, I want to congratulate two things. I want to congratulate, as was already mentioned earlier today, Amador Valley High School's teacher Kevin Kioy for being named the Alameda County Teacher of the Year this past week. Mr. Kioy, who's a fantastic teacher, will now compete for the California Teacher of the Year, and we're all very proud of Kevin and grateful for the work that he does every day to help prepare our students to go out and make the world a better place. Last comment. Yeah, please. Finally, tomorrow night, our friends at PPIE will host their annual fall gala at the Castlewood Country Club. And while tickets to the event are sold out, you can always access the online auction items at ppie.org or look at other ways on the website to support the organization that is faithful in their support for our schools, our teachers, and our community. And that's my comments for tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Hagelin.